Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a company that's aiming for the stars but might need a bigger rocket. We will decode this report to understand their mission better. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Join where people can discuss company filings. Stardust Power Inc. They filed a report to amend some errors relating to the controls and procedures they use. The original report missed important statements about how effectively the company can manage its financial reporting. This new report fixes those mistakes by adding these statements back in. It's like realizing you forgot to lock the door and going back to fix it. This report, called an amendment, is here to fix some oversights in the initial filing. It's like a whoops, we forgot something moment that they are now correcting. The main change is in the section about controls and procedures. This is where they talk about how the company makes sure its financial information is accurate and reliable. The company's top executives, the Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer, checked how well their systems work to ensure information is correctly reported. We are talking about something called disclosure controls and procedures. These are the processes that make sure important company information is recorded, processed and shared correctly and on time. Their conclusion was that everything was working well. Management is asserting that the processes they use to make the financial statements are effective. Now, let's address the background and remediation of material weaknesses. Gonna report mentions that in 2023, so last year, the company found some big problems called material weaknesses in how they were handling their financial reporting. These weaknesses were about not having the right checks and balances in place, problems with keeping track of contracts and incorrectly classifying expenses, which could impact the numbers they share with investors in place, problems with keeping track of contracts and incorrectly classifying expenses, which could impact the numbers they share with investors. And think of it like this. Imagine you are trying to bake a cake, but you don't have all the measuring cups. You might end up with a cake that doesn't taste very good. That is what a material weakness is. It means the company's financial reporting might not be accurate because the right controls aren't in place. The good news is that once these weaknesses were found, they took actions to fix them. They designed and put in place new and improved controls to make sure their financial reporting might not be accurate because the right controls aren't in place. According to the filing, as required by these rules, the company's management is in charge of setting up and maintaining good internal control over financial reporting. These controls are like the safeguards that make sure the company's financial reports are reliable and accurate. Internal control over financial reporting includes the rules and steps that make sure ACOF records are kept in detail, showing all transactions and use of the company's assets, unnoticed or without permission in a way that would significantly affect the company's finances. The management has also stated that as of the end of last year, December 31, Tochan or records are kept in detail, showing all transactions and use of the company's assets. Unnoticed or without permission in a way that would significantly affect the company's finances. The management has also stated that as of the end of last year, December 31, 2024, they believe the company's processes were effective. Outside of fixing the weaknesses that they mentioned earlier, the company didn't note any material changes to the internal control processes that could compromise the integrity of the company's reports. Now, even the best systems aren't perfect. There can be flaws in the design, things can be missed, or there can be fraud. One more interesting thing to point out from the cover page is the value of shares held by the public. The last day of last year was worth about $38.7 million. This gives you an extremely basic idea of how investors see the company. In addition to that, there were about 84.4 million shares of common stock outstanding. This number is important because it contributes to the total picture of the company's financial structure and how ownership is spread among investors. It's also worth noting who is checking on the company's work. The auditor for Stardust Power is Carney CPLA. This firm is based in Atlanta, Georgia. And now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Stardust Power is still a fairly young company. They had some early growing pains with their internal controls, but they seem to be addressing those issues. Whether or not this will be enough to keep the business running is another thing though. A potential risk is that as an emerging growth company, they aren't required to have their internal controls fully audited for now. It makes sense that that would be a potential area for growth, but also keep costs down in the short run as they develop. So what's the final verdict? Stardust Power is in the early stages of setting the foundations of internal processes and controls. This filing shows they have had some challenges and are taking steps to fix them. Alright, that's our breakdown of Stardust Power latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.